All right, all right. How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a great day. I know it's been a while since I did an open mic, and I apologize for that. It's been crazy. It's been crazy around here. Happy to see you here, though. Hello, hello. How's it going, everyone? I need to make this a little bit bigger so I can see what's happening there. And then we need to click over here. And I can delete that. Now let's check. All right, we got that working. Oh, that's the wrong thing. That is the wrong thing. Give me a second to fix this. Go. Center. There we go. We did it. We figured it out. Hey there, Vaxer. How's it going, man? It's not the time yet. What do you mean it's not the time yet? Did I do something wrong? Today's Tuesday, January 30th, 2020. What do you mean it's not the time yet? Stupid Wabbit. I bought Trials. I think I might return it. Not because it's a bad game, but it's because I'm a bad player. I'm just so bad at it. Oh, it said 40 minutes left? Well, that was a mistake. I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't mean to put any timer on there at all. People are negative towards the platform that they didn't choose because they live in this fear that if their platform doesn't win, then they won't have the games that they want. Kiprian, Trials becomes hard like instantaneously. That game is really, really difficult. The game is incredibly difficult. Yeah, I know, UK 1980 map. Sometimes I don't script things out ahead of time, so when I say stuff, sometimes I say the wrong thing even though I know the right thing. Does that make sense? Oh my god, I'm so bad at that game, Jarek. It's really, really hard. See, here's the thing though, UK Matt. At least you have options. Here in the States, we get one option where we live. Just one option. I'm glad you're having fun with it, Bowser. I saw you playing it this morning. I logged in and I played for a little bit. And I was like, oh my god, I'm so bad at this. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, it was only $16. So I don't think I'm going to return it. I don't know if I'll ever get any better at it. I mean, that is incredibly doubtful. Matt wants to know if Mortal Kombat 11 is worth getting. I don't have an answer for you because I haven't played it myself. But if you know the answer, please let Matt know right here in chat. Oh, stupid Wabbit. I do the same thing. I don't know, hit a hangnail and I'll hit that B button instantaneously because I want to get right back to the beginning. Jason Curtis says it takes some practice. Thank you very much for being a member, Jason Curtis. Speaking of joining things, I decided in the past couple days, I decided to make an old school email newsletter. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he said, he has a newsletter for his show, and we were talking about it, and he said, look, man, nobody goes to websites anymore. Well, nobody goes to blogs. And I was like, yeah, you're right, and nobody does. And he said, so why don't you just make a newsletter where you can grab a couple of gaming stories, because that's what he does for his politics show. But he said, grab a couple of gaming stories and put those gaming stories with your thoughts, like little tiny blurbs, not anything long, in an email every couple of days and send it out. So I think that's what I ended up doing. And if that sounds interesting to you, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go to runjumpstomp.com/mail. And you're going to see this cool little animated... I got to change out the my headphone batteries. You're going to see this little animation of Homer. And there's a button where you can click the free video game newsletter. And if you click on that, it's going to come here. You can put in your email address. You can put in your name. And you can submit it. All right? Do me that favor. And I promise to send you out something soon. Very soon. Maybe even later today. That's true. Vaxxer makes a good point about trials, is people can make their own tracks. That's really awesome. It's also a very pretty game. Trials is a very, very pretty game. What was the address? The address here, I can put it right here. runjumpstomp.com/mail. Fatality. For me, I'm passing on Mortal Kombat 11. It just really doesn't appeal to me. If I'm going to play a fighting game, it's going to be either ARMS on the Nintendo Switch or Smash Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch. Both of those games, those are my fighting games of choice. Hey, Ronil, what's up? By the way, if you want to do me a huge favor and you want to help out the show, if you want to get more people to watch this, let's everybody click on that like button in 3, 2, 1, go. All right? If you guys could do that, that would be awesome. All right, I got to switch out my headphones. There we go. My favorite Smash fighter. Yours is King K. Rool, Gavin. Mine is Pac-Man. Pac-Man is awesome in Smash. Rocky84. Hey, Bill, do you think Stadia will get Doom Eternal the same day as consoles? I think so. I think that we will. I think that we will. Oh, man, that was a wonderful like spike. Thank you guys very much. We more than doubled the number of likes that we had. So thank you very much for that. All right, so if you don't know what Open Mic is all about, It's where we talk about what you want to talk about. So if you've got an idea, you can say it in chat. As more and more people show up, it'll be harder for me to read everything that happens in chat while I'm also talking. So if you really want to make sure that your message gets seen, then use the super chat feature. But let's talk about video games. What do you guys want to talk about today? Lord Chip says, I was late hitting it as in watching on Chromecast Ultra. I had to switch the app. Oh, no worries about it, Chips. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right. Kiprian says, which game do you hope will be the first one using crowd play? I mean, I gotta be honest. I thought that. Oh well. All right. It's gotta be a game where there's a high amount of turnover. So you do a mission or you do a match or whatever it is, and then well, wait. Crowd play is the one where people queue to play with you. Yeah, that's not crowd choice. So whatever it is, it's got to be something with a high amount of turnover. So you play a match with your viewers, and then you say, okay, let's get the next set of people in here. So what games would that work for? Let me bring up Stadia.com, and I'm going to go to the store in just a minute. There we go. And let's look and see what games would work really, really well with that model. Let me make this a little bit smaller. There we go. Is that right? No, that's not right. There we go. Okay. So I haven't played multiplayer trials yet, so I don't know how that works. Mortal Kombat would work very well with that, so you could play against somebody real fast and then get the next person in. I think that Mortal Kombat would work exceedingly well for that. Darksiders Genesis, I don't think that would work exceedingly well. Guilt doesn't make any sense. A lot of these single-player games don't make any sense for that. Samurai Showdown, it would make a lot of sense for that. Let's see, what else? Grid, it would make a lot of sense for Grid to do something like that. And you know, when they showed it off using NBA 2K, so that makes sense too. So of these, the ones that I think would make the most sense would be the fighting games and Grid. And for me, I am not interested in the fighting games, and I'm only a little interested in Grid. So I don't think I have a one that I'm hoping for yet. That being said, which ones do you hope for? Which ones do you want to have that crowd play feature unlocked first? I would love to hear that. Greg Doyle, yes, I did change my camera angle. That's true. And hey there, Brett. Sam says Q Games guy at GDC last year said he was focusing on a crowd play game that would be specifically made for that feature. That sounds cool. I think Fortnite would be a good game for crowd play. That being said, we have no news on whether or not it is a possibility or not. Brett, Bill and Lloyd doing Just Dance, never gonna happen. Rocky, when do you think the free version of Stadia will be? You know, I obviously don't know when the free version of Stadia would be. However, I would think that, I mean, everybody, myself included, is assuming it's 3 months to the day after the launch of base Stadia, or you know, the beta test, I guess. So whatever day that is, I can't remember. Robin, I disagree. I think Stadia's latency would be fine for competitive shooters and Battle Royale as long as you're playing with other people who are using the same, like they're on the same latency as you. Captain Skidmarks. Hey, Bill, what's your thoughts on Apple TV Plus? Not Stadia related, but I want to know. Apple TV Plus is awesome. The morning show is fantastic. What's that other show? The space show. I can never remember the name of it. For All Mankind, wonderful. And, you know, that's just 2 shows. But I'm not unsubscribing anytime soon. Of course, I did get it. I got a year of it for free because I bought a new phone this year. So that's my thoughts on it, is it's awesome. How would you convince a console player to switch to Stadia? Leon, I wouldn't bother. I would just play the games that I want to play and not really worry about other people. That's me. I'm an old man. I don't care what other people think. Bones says the issues with latency will come in on cross-platform gaming. I mean, we'll see. It feels really good. Look, the guys at Digital Foundry did a test, and they found that the Xbox One X had higher latency than Stadia. Right? Or at least equivalent. So I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, I gotta stop using my right hand to, hey, look at that. Oh. It's whenever I cover up my face. But I want to have on, I want to have my autofocus on because on my Twitch channel, people can spend the channel points, which are called shiny things, in order to ask the question block a question, and then we shake it up and we answer it, and then I show it to the chat so that they can see it. So I want to leave autofocus on. Robin says, I guess cross-platform gaming is what a lot of people want, especially since you don't need a controller for Stadia. I want cross-platform gaming because I want to be able to play with people regardless of what platform they decided to choose. Hey, Bill, read a lot lately about Google's radio silence with regard to Stadia as of late. Do you not think they need to be more forthcoming with what's happening on Stadia? Look, we are looking at what's happening with Google right now with half of the information, or maybe less than half of the information. We don't know what they have planned. We don't know when they have it planned. And maybe when they unveil whatever it is that they're going to unveil, maybe at that point we will all say, oh, okay, well, I understand why they were being so quiet. So do I think that they need to talk right now? Probably not. Do I think that it would make a lot of people happier? Yes. At the end of the day, are we going to look back at this first? I think that sometime down the road, we're going to look back at this and we are not going to remember the growing pains that Google was having with Stadia in the first few months. And I think that a lot of people forget that in sometime this year, you're going to be able to buy a game for the cost of a game without spending any money on a console and be able to play it on whatever device you want. And when that happens, the number of people who are going to be playing on Stadia is going to shoot way through the roof. And I think that that is what is going to show people why Stadia is a possible future for the video game industry. See you later, Bowser. Thank you very much for hanging out. Frederick Will they do a Connect in February? They should do it soon because of the PS5 reveal. I don't know when they're going to do it. I hope so. I would like to know what's going on. I think it would be great. And wait, followed. What is followed? I think I might have the wrong alerts up. Let me see if I can fix that. Stream elements. Because that seems odd. That's the wrong thing, I think. All right, so we want to go to my overlays. And, oh, here, let's try this. Oh, okay, that's working, but my alerts are not. So, 1 second. We'll edit this. And we'll copy that. I'm going to go away for just a second. Don't go anywhere. Where's the alert scene? And we'll try that again. There we go. I fixed it. I fixed it. Alexander says, I don't doubt Stadia's possible success. I doubt their success on the timeline they've set for themselves within 2 to 3 years at the current pace. You got to remember that just because this is their current pace does not mean that developers need time to make stuff. And I think within the next 6 months to a year, you're going to see the number of games on Stadia increase dramatically, like very dramatically, as developers get their games done. So just because this is the pace now doesn't mean that they're going to hold this pace for the next 2 to 3 years. I think it's going to continually increase, especially since, I made a video the other day, and that video, in that video, I talked about the fact that Unity now completely supports everything that you need in order to make Stadia games. That's huge. That Unity news is huge. And look at that. Sam is even saying the same thing. The Unity news is the important announcement to support this. Yes. And Brian says, look, the first 3 months have had a great lineup. For me, I've been happy with it, but I understand why there's a lot of people out there who are not happy with the first 3 months, because it is a lot of older games that a lot of people have already played. But that's what happens when you have a new system. The thing that people are forgetting is go back to the Xbox One, or the original Xbox, because that's the last time that we had a brand new console from a brand new player in the field. I think Google did fine this time around. John Montgomery, the Activision deal, I don't think that's huge at all. That is a deal with YouTube, not a deal with Stadia. And while YouTube and Stadia are inexorably linked, that does not mean that Activision games are suddenly coming to Stadia. Do I think Activision games are coming to Stadia? Yes, I do. Do I like answering questions that I ask myself? Yes, I do. To Lee, to you, I am well. Thank you very much. Stupid Wabbit, any plans on getting superhero John Justice back for a post-launch interview? I have reached out. I have not heard anything back yet. I don't know if... we've said a lot of negative things about Google. Perhaps they have had enough of our nonsense. Or perhaps they've got their heads down and they're working real hard and they don't have time to talk to some weirdo in his attic. Kevin, any word about the Guilt Dev interview? We're having trouble. Because they're over in Europe, and I'm 5 hours behind them. Lloyd is 6 hours behind them, and Lloyd and I both have day jobs. So it's really hard for us to line up a time. That being said, we're thinking maybe sometime in February we might be able to work something out. But it's still up in the air. They're open to talking to us. We just don't have times that mesh. Besides John Justice, which 3 people would you like to interview in the future? Well, Jade Raymond, absolutely. Phil, oh my God, why am I blanking on the damn guy's name? Phil, I want to say Schiller, but I know that that's the guy from Apple. Spencer? That's the guy from Xbox. What the hell's his name? I can't. My brain just... Well, there you go. We're never interviewing Phil. Harrison, I remembered. Phil Harrison. I would like to interview Phil Harrison, Jade Raymond, and I don't know about anybody else yet. Well, everybody now... So if you guys don't know, there's a bit of a delay. So by the time you guys are telling me the name, I've already figured it out. But thank you. Hey, listen, if you think it's hilarious that Bill can't remember anything because of his ridiculous goldfish memory, click the thumbs up button. All right, that would really help us out. Andrew says, how does Google or any other gaming company make money by giving games away? All right, so here's how it works. They don't make money by giving games away, but what they do is they get people to try it. And if people try it, then they're going to be like, oh, this actually works. And then they'll probably sell other games. So if you're just talking about like Epic Games just giving games away where they're just like, hey, everybody, here's free games every week. They don't make money from that. In fact, they're using money that they made on Fortnite to pay developers for those games so that they can give them out in order to get people used to using the Epic Games Store. And Google isn't doing that. Google is taking a subscription, so they are taking in money, and then they're taking some of that money to pay developers to let us get their games or claim their games temporarily as long as we are subscribed. So there's that. Tim is saying crowd play would be awesome if the viewers were voting in polls to control the adversarial AI to challenge the streamer to overcome the challenge. What do you think? I assume is YDYT or WDYT. That's not what crowd play is. Crowd play is like there's a queue system so that we can play a game together. You're thinking of crowd choice. Josh Torres, did you read the newest gamesindustry.biz article? I have not read it. I've been at work all day. Shaping young American minds. So I get where you're coming from, but Epic Games Platform's first 2 years was strictly on taking games from Steam. Not necessarily. Now, when they bought Psyonix in order to own Rocket League so that they could take Rocket League and put it on the Epic Games Store, that's definitely what's going on there. But they just want people to get used to using the Epic Games Store. They're not trying to take the games from Steam. They're just trying to get people to use their store. In fact, what's his name, whose name I can't remember, said specifically, if Steam matches our price cut, which is 88% for the Epic, or 88% for developers, 12% for the Epic Games Store, whereas Steam uses a 70-30 split. If Steam matched that revenue split with the developers, then they would say, okay, all bets are off. We're just going to go back to doing our own thing. And they'd stop doing these exclusive deals. But Steam hasn't responded to that yet. Jason Brown played Ghost Recon today. Even though you and Lloyd are offline, you're still propped up against the co-op bench together. That's weird because we both bought it and then decided it was not a game for us and returned it. Oh, hang on. I'm getting a phone call. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, everybody. All right. So just so everybody knows what's going on, my car has been giving me a hard time. And so we dropped it off last night, and that phone call was them saying it's ready to be picked up. So my wife's going to finish watching a show that she's watching, and then we're going to go. So I've got about a half hour left to hang out with you guys. So let's make the most of it. Let's talk about all of the things that you want to talk about. All right? Colin says, hey, Chad, a lot of YouTubers say that Stadia is already dying. They're just looking for clickbait, guys. I don't think Stadia is dying. I think that Stadia is having a rough start when it comes to messaging, but Stadia works. Stadia absolutely works, and it works exceedingly well if you've got the stuff that they need. You know, a 25 megabit connection. If you've got that, it works fantastically well. And the people who are saying it's dying are being impatient. They're being incredibly impatient. Wait for, what's it called? Base. Wait for Base to come out. When Base comes out, you're going to see something extremely different. You're going to see the narrative shift very quickly as more people have it in their hands. What do you think of the Verizon Fios plus Stadia promo deal going on right now? Stadia Premier plus 3 months promo for free. So Bones 1999. First off, I have a video directly about that. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and click on click on the bell so you get notified every time I post a new video, and you can go back and watch that. I will say this. I wish that I had Fios in my area so that I could check it out because it sounds awesome. Joel Thompson, thank you very much for... wait, what's going on here? There we go. All right. Joel Thompson, thank you very much. He says, does your left thumb still hurt from trials? No, it's fine. I was just holding it like, you know? That's how I was. That's how I was. But thank you very much, Joel, for the support. I appreciate it. My thumb does not still hurt from trials. I also haven't played very much yesterday. I didn't play at all yesterday. I'll tell you what I did yesterday. I mean, I was super busy yesterday. I did... I had to run kids to doctors, and I had to record Switchcraft, and then this also arrived. Here, I'll show you. This also arrived. Look at how cool that thing is. The Pocket Go. Here, I'll turn it on for you. So I got the custom firmware installed on it yesterday, which took a long time. And I'll load up a game. Like 2020 Super Baseball. Because it's, you know, because it's 2020. Look how cool that is. Shut that back off. So I had to do all the work on that. It's called the Pocket Go. It's called the Pocket Go. And no, it's not a sponsor. Alexander, they have said that free-to-play games are coming to Stadia. They just won't be on Stadia base. You have to be a pro subscriber in order to use free-to-play games, which I think is perfectly fair. Why do I dislike playing on my cell phone? Because my cell phone has what's the word I'm looking? It doesn't have buttons built in. And sure, I totally get you. This is a smaller screen than my cell phone. I understand. This is for playing old retro games. As you can see, if you look behind me, I like retro games. That's what that's for. Playing modern games, I'm not interested in doing the whole thing with the controller in my phone. I'm just not. Hey, Daryl Smock. I hope they provide game demos when base comes out. That would be a great way to get people to try Stadia. Just make a Stadia account and click on a demo in Chrome to try a game. You know, Brett, I mentioned that to John Justice when I interviewed him, and he said that was going to be happening. They said, we will both have demos for games that you can play as a subscriber, and we will have a way for you to try Stadia without paying any money. And I think that that's really good. Does the Pocket Go come with ROMs? It does come with ROMs. It shouldn't come with ROMs because you should only have ROMs that you've ripped yourself on this thing. It's really good though. Can only do so much. Glad I can make it to a live stream this time. Well, I've got bad news for you. I've only got about 25 minutes left because we got to go get my car. I got a call from the mechanic and my car is ready. Where did they say you needed Pro for free to play? Sam, I don't remember. Somebody showed it to me. It was a Phil Harrison quote, and it was something in my in my community Discord that somebody had posted a link to it. I don't remember where it is though. Ronil, have an Uber driver pick up your car. Ronil, we live in the middle of nowhere, like nowhere. We live in the sticks, so that there like if I ordered an Uber driver, I would probably be waiting 5 or 6 hours before somebody showed up, if ever. Alexander Kango, Stadia gets delivered today. Any tips/tricks for a beginner? Yeah, use Ethernet if you can. Ethernet makes it better, but Ethernet makes everything better. I've got my PS4 Pro right here. It's got Ethernet. I've got my Nintendo Switch. It's got Ethernet. I've got my PC. It's on Ethernet. Ethernet makes everything better. Skid marks. Any thoughts on when Stadia can be played on other Android or Apple tablets? I don't know. I would hope sooner. Listen, I'm an iPad guy. I love my iPad. I love it I use it all the time. iPad is a fantastic device. I would love to be able to play Stadia on that. But, I don't have any insight as to when it's going to happen. Here, let's ask. When will we be able to play Stadia on an iPad? Uh-oh. It says, no way, amateur. I don't know why. I don't know why it's so rude about it. Guess we're not going to be able to. The cube has spoken. Well, I use Ethernet in here. I don't use Ethernet in the next room over, and it works pretty well. I've only had a couple of slight issues with Wi-Fi in the other room. Somebody's talking to me on Discord. Hold on. So we're running out of time. Make sure you guys tell me what you want to talk about today. By the way, if you haven't already, do me a huge favor. That's not the right button. Let's try that again. There you go. Click on that. See you later, Happy Cloud Gamer. Click on that. Speaking of things that you can click on, let me grab I'm going to tweet out a buddy pass right now. All right? Let's send out a buddy pass. If you or somebody that you know needs a buddy pass, well, today is your lucky day. I'm going to tweet it out. All right? Here it goes. Where is it? There we go. Buddy pass for at Google Stadia. Enjoy. There we go. There you go. It's gone. I just sent it. See you later, Cloud. Could you run a Nightfall with me? I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Is that like a Destiny thing? I think it's a Destiny thing. I'm only like level 802 or something like that in Destiny. I don't know what a Nightfall is, but it's probably too high for me. Welcome, Bernard Baker. Uh, 802 is really low level, Vaxer. I think you start out at level 762. I really liked your talk about Elder Scrolls Online. It made me check out Black Desert Mobile for now that it's released. I'm not going to go out and add people, but you all can friend request me. I'm Run Jump Stomp on Stadia. I couldn't remember it. I'm so old. I'm so old. There we go. I think people are very demanding of Google regarding how often they tell us updates. How often does Sony or Microsoft tell you about new features or new games on their consoles? Every week? Caitlin, while you're not wrong about that, I also think that you're forgetting that there's very few new games. Well, there's no new games since was it since launch, or did we get something new? We got a couple new games since launch, but that's been it. And I think it's just that people have so many questions. With a console, you go out and you buy the console, and that's it. You just play the console, and then it's on the publishers and developers to make games for it. But because Stadia is an ever-evolving platform, people are like, well, what's happening? We want to know more about what exactly this thing does and how does that thing work. And I think that's why people expect more communication. That's how I feel about it. Tripping with tech. I don't need pointers to level up. I just need to do it. And I just haven't been playing. However, I will say this, Kalen. I feel like Google is kind of getting the short end of the stick when it comes to the people's expectations, because people are often forgetting that is a brand new platform from a brand new player in the industry, and they expected it to come out and be just like an Xbox or just like a PlayStation, when that's impossible to come out and launch like that, even for a company as big as Google. All right. Bernard Baker says, here's a question for you, Bill. Publishers and developers are definitely aware of the current narrative with Stadia and the press. Do you think they're using that negativity to pressure Google? To pressure Google in order to do what? I don't know what Google's doing that they would want that the... Like, look, publishers look at... Here's how I think publishers look at Stadia. They look at Stadia and they say, look, here's a platform where no cheating can happen. Here's a platform where no piracy can happen. Here's a platform where no secondary sales can happen. This is probably the best platform ever for a developer. So I think developers want their games on Stadia. The problem is that Google came out and announced it, and they just didn't give the developers enough time to start making their games for Stadia yet. They said that over 4,000 developers have applied. We saw Phil Harrison standing there in that giant white room with all of the logos of all of the different publishers flying past him, and it had companies like Square Enix and EA and a bunch of other ones. So I think that people are forgetting that those games are coming, but they can't come instantaneously because the developers need more time to port the games. The publishers need more times to write the contracts. I don't think that they're holding out on games. I think that they are working as hard as they can to make those games ported so that they can make a bunch of money, especially when Stadia Base comes out. Clean slates. Do I think that Google made a mistake by announcing those 120 games? No. I think that Google announced those 120 games because they know that they've got 120 games that are coming out this year. Actually, let me change that. I think that they know that they've got more than 120 games coming out this year. This year's a long time. They got plenty of time to get that stuff done. I think it's going to be fine. But here's the thing you're forgetting about, Bernard. And so I should make sure, just in case you missed what Bernard said. He said, look, Stadia needs the games more than the game companies need Stadia. And he's not wrong about that. But when Stadia Base comes out and you can sell your game to anybody who has a crappy Chromebook, that's a lot of potential customers. And that's one of the reasons why developers are going to get on board. Jarvius, what if Google brings Nintendo games to the platform? I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening at all. By the way, if you did not know, I've got a podcast called Nintendo Switchcraft. You can check it out on my other YouTube channel, Run, Jump, Stomp. All right, make sure you check that out. And you can also subscribe to it wherever podcasts are found. Nintendo Switchcraft. I can't. If in case anybody's wondering, what are you playing with there, Bill? Velcro. Just a little Velcro strap. It's for cable management. And I just keep rolling it up and unrolling it because it feels nice. It makes a satisfying little rip sound. Right now, okay, so Bernard Baker, right now, the audience is small because very few people are going to part with $130 on something that is so new and untested. But later on this year, when Stadia Base is out and anybody can just try it, the numbers are going to explode. Trust me. This is going to happen. Stadia Base is going to change things in a huge way. If you like it, let's go back in time. All right, we'll go back in time to October of 2016. Nintendo announced the Nintendo Switch. They showed that ad, and I said to myself, that's going to be huge. That is going to be huge. And here we are 52 million units later in less than 3 years. Nintendo sold the same amount of Nintendo Switches in 36 months than it took 52 months for Xbox One to sell. That's a pretty amazing feat. I looked at that and I said, that's going to be huge. And when I said, that's going to be huge, I'm going to make a podcast about it. And I did. And then when I saw the Stadia Connect, I said to myself, that's going to be huge. And I decided to make a podcast about it. And here we are. The writing's on the wall. It's going to be huge. Stadia is going to be huge. xCloud is going to be huge. Whatever Amazon brings out is going to be huge because you don't have to buy the box. You can play the games. Look, you can play the games on whatever platform you want, and it's not going to matter. Streaming is the future of video games, and Google may not have the #1 streaming thing in the future, but they have the best shot at it, I think. Be careful or I will break it. Here, listen to this. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Let me pause the music. Let's roll it back up. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Here we go. Can you guys hear this? There you go. A little ASMR or whatever the hell that crap is. Most of the publishers will release a game on Stadia. Just be patient, take my word. Nick D99, I agree. I don't really get what comes with HBO Max. Like, we currently have HBO Go? Or HBO Now? I don't even know which one it is. Jarvis Owens, wish Google would make an Android TV Stadia box in-house. I mean, why not? Why not just use a Chromecast? I love the Chromecast. You know, my wife and I'll just be sitting there and I'll say, hey, keyword, play Grey's Anatomy on the bedroom TV. And boop, there it goes. It just starts playing. In fact, yesterday, because they just put in Hulu support. And that's usually where we watch that particular show. So I said, hey, keyword, let's watch Grey's Anatomy on the bedroom TV. And it was like, we can watch that on Hulu or Netflix. Which one do you want? And I was like, Hulu. And then it just started playing. Madden, FIFA this year. Rocky 84, I think so. We already know that EA is working with Google on Stadia. We know that. Not only did we see it when Phil Harrison was surrounded by all of the logos, we saw EA up there, but I specifically asked John Justice about it, and I said to him, go back and watch my second interview with him, and I said, listen, a lot of people are wondering if you're still working with EA because we saw a lot of partners up there and we haven't heard anything from them. And he said, our partners want to make their own announcements, but as of right now, we are still working with everybody that we have said that we're working with. So we know that they're working with EA. And EA has FIFA. FIFA is huge. One of the deals with FIFA, and I could be getting this wrong, and maybe this is old information, but one of the deals with FIFA is in order for EA to keep the license for FIFA, they have to commit to releasing the game on all platforms. That's why you always get a FIFA game on a Nintendo platform, even if it's a crappy port. Now, why is it a crappy port on Nintendo? Usually because the Nintendo consoles are less powerful than the Xbox or PlayStation equivalents. So, it can't run the Frostbite engine. Now, does Frostbite support Google Stadia? We don't know. The Frostbite engine is notorious for being really, really hard to work with, and EA really wants their developers to use it. So that's probably why we have not seen FIFA yet. We have not seen Madden yet. We've not seen the new Jedi whatever game, Jedi something lightsaber man. We haven't seen that yet because those are all Frostbite engine games. Same thing, I believe, with Apex Legends. Apex Legends is a Frostbite game. So I think that those things are unlikely to happen soon. But that doesn't mean that EA is not coming. And it doesn't mean that EA is not supporting. It just means be patient. I could be completely wrong about all this because I have no inside information outside of what John Justice told me, which you can go back and watch the interview yourself. Fallen Order. There you go. Jedi lightsaberman. That's what I think it's called, right? Oh, it's an Unreal Engine. Okay, well there you go. I know that. Wait, is Unreal the? What's the engine that just said? Oh, we talked about it earlier today. There was an engine that just said that it supported everything. I don't think it was the Unreal Engine. It was the other one, which name I can't remember. Ugh. Well, Bernard Baker, that's called that's called split screen. Apex uses the Unity. Thank you. That's what I couldn't think of. The Source engine, like Valve's engine? I didn't know that. The Pelican 3, I want to play my Steam games on Stadia. Don't we all? Anyway, back to what Bernard is saying. I'm not a fan of split screen stuff. Now, just because a game is made in Unity doesn't mean that it can be instantaneously ported to Stadia now. You got to remember that too. And yeah, there's a lot of people who are forgetting something incredibly important about streaming, and that's that it eventually it's going to be able to do things that you can't do at your house. That's incredibly important. That's going to change excuse me, it's going to change the conversation big time. Bernard Baker, that would be split screen, though. I understand what you're saying. You're saying rather than being on two different screens, we are playing on the same screen where we split it in half. That is literally split screen. But I understand what you're saying. That's something that the other consoles can't do in an easy way. No, I get what you're saying. I think that's great. I'm uninterested because I hate split screen. I want to have the whole screen to myself. I'm selfish. I don't want to share the screen. Hakan says, not sure if Google could buy GeForce now, but that would be great, being able to stream my Steam content over Stadia as part of the sub. Their Shield TV also includes Chromecast Ultra, as far as I know. I get what you're saying, but what you don't quite understand is that Stadia is its own hardware. Now, if Google did that, then sure, they could also offer to play your Steam library, but it would not be on the Stadia hardware. It would be on different hardware. All right, everybody. My wife has just told me that she's finished her show and we need to go get my car. So I'm sorry to cut this one short. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. I try and do this on Thursdays. I can't always do so. Before you leave, make sure that you hit that thumbs up button. And also, please sign up right there. All right, click on that link that I just pasted. Click and sign up. And every couple of days, you'll get a nice little cool gaming news goodness in your inbox, along with some funny little gifts. All right? I'll see you all soon. Gotta go. Bye-bye.